And there's Rek'Sai banned from Cloud9, so they say, alright, leave them all open. And I feel like CLG are just going to take Ryze here. Seems to be the most obvious pick open, but they do have a lot of options because a whole host of new and targeted bans here.
I would expect it to be, you know, it could be Ryze, could be Jax. Thing is, it's CLG. If they think that C9 would take away Ryze, you first pick it.
Yep.
If you don't think it's contested, and Jensen, if I recall correctly, has not really played Ryze much at all. So it may not be something that they are worried about having it taken away. And in that case, you can leave it till later in the draft. And you also always have to kind of wonder, is there some reason that they're leaving it up, you know? Are they trying to bait us into this pick? Because everyone knows Huhi is dominant on Ryze. Ryze in this patch has a 75% win in competitive play. So it's absolutely been dominant, and leaving that up almost makes you think, ooh, they got a plan, you know?
Well, they actually take first pick Nah of all things. Jax was left open, Aurelia was banned away instead, but Darshan says, I had a good game, I'm happy to take it. Maybe that's where we're moving top lane pick priority now. But Sivir and Gragas the answer for Cloud9, so going to stick to what they know. Didn't work out in game one, but still a very strong combination.
It's also very safe, right? It's something that you can be confident going into, knowing you're not going to have any really horrible lane matchups. And this is actually kind of a bit of a reverse draft. Sivir and that Gragas was the first rotation for CLG last time around, so now C9 takes it. We'll see what adaptations, if any, there are going to be for CLG.
Well, still deciding on these next few picks here, as never mind, they've decided Azir and Karma actually will be the picks, as Azir was left open, so Jensen can take Ryze if he wants to, but he's a great Azir player, and Huhi able to take that away and pick up a strong champion for himself as well.
And I don't think we'll see Jensen grabbing that Ryze. Huhi decides he wants the Azir. That was banned away first game too. Another one of his top priority champions. Will Jensen feel like going back to the Taliyah? Did not work out at all in game one. It looked pretty shaky, but it was a rough start, to be fair.
Yeah, Jensen had a rough few games recently. I mean, turned it around in the series yesterday versus Apex with a huge Malzahar game.
His latter two games were godlike.
Yeah.
His first game was not so hot, and will we see a repeat of that today? Remains to be seen.
See if he's warmed up, I suppose. Malzahar, of course, not available, was banned away as the first ban in the draft for CLG. And I believe first ban for Cloud9 in game one, so no one wants to see that champion out on the Rift. But Cloud9 is going to pick up a few things here. Probably mid lane last pick, so no. Tell a lie. They're actually going to take the Cassio here and Bard for Smoothie. Last second swap away from Braum.
Very interesting to not actually leave that mid laner till last. I mean, yes, the solo lanes have already been selected for CLG, but generally speaking, this means that there is some sort of adaptation they're thinking of for top lane based on something that has nothing to do with top lane, right? It's which jungler is being picked, which AD carry is being picked, and can we actually exploit that with our top lane selection? So we'll see if Impact is able to do that. It may be something where he wants to play more of like a CC heavy or aggressive top laner if it is into one of the more mobile carries, something like that. Not really sure what it is dependent upon, but
well, there's Lucian, and Aphromoo going to take Elise for Xmithie. So, reverse jungle matchup as well, if I'm not mistaken. Xmithie's pretty good at taking a matchup and then playing the reverse and usually stomping the other guy. Saw it against Dardoch with the Kindred Elise matchup, I believe. See if you can do it here versus Meteos.
And Aphro and Stixxay have the C9 bot lane from last time.
Yeah.
And
whoa,
and
everyone's just stealing that pick.
It's unlikely that Sneaky is going to get to start with the level 1 first blood and that advantage. So we'll see if they can actually, run it back and do better. It's not against the same support as obviously it's Bard versus the Thresh from Aphromoo last time, but will C9 be able to get as much out of that lane for Sivir as CLG did? It's going to be tough to do so.
I would say, philosophically, the support champions actually play in a pretty similar way as well. So we're getting a lot of parallels here. And Jensen even stole away the Cassio. So we'll see what Cloud9's last pick is here. That's the big deal. See what Impact wants to take in that particular lane, but it is the Trundle.
Okay.
Probably expected there for CLG, but again, if Darshan doesn't get the same lead, Impact should be just fine in the top lane.
And a lot of that came off of the outplay from Darshan in that 1v2. They talked about it on the desk, having that CS denied to you, losing that experience, definitely impactful, but Impact actually did a really good job, I think, as far as the laning phase went. He was never behind at farm. He was actually up on farm, even though Darshan was making the big plays. Darshan was the one who was a game changer for his team, but Impact was not getting smashed in lane by any means until much later.
Yeah, I mean, its Trundle should be relatively safe all around. We'll see if this draft for Cloud9 fares a little bit better. CLG have kind of a lot of elements we saw in game one. They've kind of pick and choose parts of C9's comp from last time. They've given Huhi another big high damage mid laner. So again, CLG seems to have normalized their drafts a little more to what's current. Cloud9, I think, kind of bringing back in the line as well. Be curious to see how it does in game number 2, because these team comps look pretty similar.
They do. Very similar indeed. CLG not going to be able to have that Gragas for the sneaky jungle pathing this time. They have done some pretty cool jungle level 1 adaptations, though, moving around, catching players off guard, resulting in that level 1 turret dive on Huhi, was pretty cool. Got Darshan on first blood there. They've done it here against Cloud9 in game 1. Do they have any more tricks up their sleeve? Pastry, let's find out.
Are you ready for level 1 Cocoon? Maybe. Don't forget to update your votes as we move into game number 2. Hashtag CLG win and hashtag C9 win. C9 were the heavy fan favorite in game number 1. Be curious to see if those bars have shifted at all after the CLG game 1 win.
Yeah.
Crowd tight for game 2, though. We'll see if C9 can answer back and forth another game 3.
It was almost 70% or something for
Yep.
C9, so that vote may be changing up. But the players getting out onto the Rift.
Curious to see what CLG have lined up here for level 1. You said it already. Very creative here in game 1. Xmithie, though, maybe doesn't quite fancy taking CC level 1 on Elise. And looks like for now they're just going to spread out pretty slowly.
Splash over the wall, get in there.
I mean, maybe.
They'll never expect to face.
Already got W level 1, so the dream may be dead. But it's at least going to poke in and try and spot Meteos away. Right now, everyone's sort of facing off against the standard lane opponent.
Smoothie and Sneaky are kind of hanging out here. We're hoping that someone would come around and check into them so they could get a little bit of damage off. Not going to happen. CLG is actually looking like they're moving to make a lane swap, perhaps trying to have a read on what Cloud9 is doing, because as soon as they spotted the bot lane duos, both bot lanes immediately started rotating to top. And we're going to have Australian lanes.
Yep.
And who better than you, Pastry?
That's great. I love it. Back upside down. I feel back home. But I think this is probably the lane they want. CLG happy to trade 2v2. It's funny. It's like you always expect that you're tricking the other lanes. Like, they saw us, now we're going to pump fake back to top lane. They'll never suspect it, and then they just blind 2v2 lane swap. And
Yeah, both of them. So it's pretty funny. And as you said, I think CLG is going to be pretty happy about this. It should be a nice lane for them. There's no advantage to be had for Sneaky at level 1. He's not going to have the extra pot, the longsword, the advantages that Stixxay had, which were massive.
Well, looks like they're going to start on the Gromp here. Krug start for C9 though, so no early jungle camp advantage. And curious to see how standard lanes play out once again. CLG did a great job in all their respective lanes in the early stages. We'll see how Huhi and Jensen go this time. This time it's Jensen on the Casio. The Huhi on trusty old Azir should be able to navigate this matchup relatively well.
And solo kills are honestly pretty rare in this day and age as far as completely unaffected solo kills. Ooh, nice trade onto Stixxay, but where a jungle doesn't force the flash, and then you get a solo kill, nothing like that. And Jensen, 2 days in a row, has gotten solo killed.
Yep. Maybe needs to recalibrate his knowledge of the turret range, because I think that's been his undoing.
Get in some bot games, it shows you that little, little icon. Very handy.
Why isn't that there all the time? Just draws on his monitor. He's like, this is the range.
Another one.
Stixxay taking big damage. Sneaky even gets a bit of mana back on the old spell shield. Aphromoo trying to poke them back in, but Smoothie on point so far. Stixxay burning through all his potions already. The jungle's also up this way as well, so if they interfere and start a 3v3, we could see some fireworks.
Definitely could. No ignite for the supports, unfortunately.
Oh, walloped. Straight on the face.
Kind of walked into that one.
Put that in the top 10 bad reads. Just straight into it as Xmithie going to take down the Scuttercraft. Now, Darshan back into it though. Popping back into mini now. Impact again, struggling in the early stages of the lane. But Doran's Blade versus Corrupting Potion, kind of expect it here. Mini now's pretty frustrating in the early levels.
Definitely is. You get harassed a lot under the turret. Darshan takes a shot himself, which is going to be nice for Impact. But Impact really respecting Darshan here. Kind of not even challenging for the cannon minions in a lot of these. I think he can kind of more aggressively fight for the farm because of how much regen Trundle actually has. And look at this, he's right back to full health, so he could have been maybe a bit more aggressive, but giving a lot of respect to Darshan and perhaps the potential of Smoothie being on this side with Elise being such a strong diver.
Meteos actually here as well, taking out that Scuttercrab just in front of the Dragon Pit. Xmithie on the other side of the map, but Impact doesn't know that just yet. Meteos going to go check in and see if he can't find Elise though. But he'll see the Raptor camp. He's going to put a ward down and should now spot Xmithie. Ooh, not just yet. Nah, sees him there with the ward. Xmithie knows he's there because there's a barrel just kind of brewing, but Xmithie says thanks for the leash. He'll take down the Raptor camp.
Gets the vision down, but not for long. Xmithie has a smite, takes it away with the Raptor buff, and both junglers moving around the map. Very even early games here on both sides, although Jensen is starting to to edge out a lead, and he may be able to push in Huhi and actually deny some of this farm, which is pretty nice. He's actually up a lot.
Yeah.
13 CS right now. Obviously, Huhi should not lose all of this to a turret, but he's going to lose a couple.
Yep, it's bad news there for Huhi. Does go back, get a second Dorans and some boots, so clearly struggling in the early trades as Jensen shoves him out of lane early. Tier there for Cassio as Xmithie's ganking bottom lane, leads the Cocoon. Darshan hops in onto his own teammate. Very creative, but Impact flashes out.
Good flash by Impact. Does not panic. You can't flash before the Cocoon comes out. You need to reactively dodge it. Is able to do so, and Aphro, they're looking.
Oof. Smoothie almost threads that one through, but Aphromoo able to stack up the minions and let them tank for him. Stixxay actually forced back as well. 10 CS down right now. Another binding.
He's doing his best DJ Khaled impression. And another one.
Just catching all of them. Stixxay going to clear out what he can. Double longsword so far, so it might make him a little more combat effective. Meteos looking for something bottom side, though. As Darshan could be in a bit of trouble.
Looking to return the favor. He's saying, you can gank, well, I can gank too. Here I am.
Got his flash, so not a bad time. Darshan with his flash at the ready. Impact flashless.
Yeah, I think he just wants to basically defend him, allow him to push in that wave safely so he can back, but okay. Yeah, Darshan's just going to push it back.
It's ambitious
bait. May go for this with Jensen
Impact.
here.
Yeah, Jensen here
risky.
as well. Impact's going in. There's the body slam in. Darshan taking damage, but he flashes. And that should be enough to defuse that. Despite no one else in the area, Darshan gets away.
Darshan playing very well. A lot of attention put onto him. And Jensen giving up a fair bit of his lead, actually, to make that roam to protect his top laner. And gets nothing out of it. So he's going to lose a lot of CS back to the turret. Has already lost 3 or 4. And will be able to pick up the remaining range minions, but still.
Thankfully tagged the experience of the cannon, so now Ding's level 6. Might look to try and defend this invade from Xmithie, but Huhi also 6 himself. Just going to keep him out of the way. Jensen trying to keep the wave back a bit. Huhi's now going to start shoving it down, moves the soldiers forward. But Jensen should be able to keep this in a good spot. Nice little twin fang there to pick it up. Misses that one, that's unfortunate. On camera too.
It does so little damage early game without the poison up there, so have to be aware of that. Meanwhile, in this 2v2, things looking very even. No major advantages on either side, so playing each other tight.
Yeah, Stixxay stopped catching bindings, I think, so things are getting a bit better. Sneaky with his BF sword, though, so everything about as expected here in the 2v2 so far.
Yeah, much better early buy for Sneaky, and that's the advantage that they got from the poke. He's able to harass him out, forces Stixxay to back on an awkward timing, gets a couple longswords. That's not what he would have wanted. Would have liked to pick up some early armor pen on that first base, and Sneaky gonna be happy about this. Really spot at least sneaking in. Did not see him, and no flash.
Going aggressive. Meganar there hits him with the road. I think that's a piece of road. It's hard with the Nut skin sometimes.
No, yeah, this is actually my first time seeing this new
Nut skin. Yeah, me too. Pretty dope. But in fact, does get away from the gank, which is I think the important part. Does not get himself involved in any sort of ultimate situation.
Yeah, and it's funny to think about, but the fact that they actually forced Darshan's flash on that kind of attempted dive is probably what saves Impact there. Because otherwise he flashes forward, he Gnar ults him into the wall, Xmithie follows up, that's probably first blood. So that just even the pressure there can be massively impactful on the outcome of the game.
Well, lane's looking a lot better here for Cloud9. Top lane a little worse for wear for Impact, but Jensen up in the lead and now getting aggressive on a Huhi. Cassiopeia forces just such difficult trades as Stixxay just busts open the culling. Smoothie almost chunked
really
it
low.
Down. Better eat those packages. It's getting awfully low. Stixxay, oh, he wants it. He might want it too much. Does not get aggressive there. Summoner's still up for both Cloud9's duo, but they will get forced out here.
Yeah, they're going to have to base. They have not seen Xmithie in a while. Although he actually just got pinged out. He stepped a little bit too far forward there, got spotted by the minions. So Jensen does know what's up, will not be going aggressive into this, and doing very well for himself this time around in the mid lane. Up quite a bit of farm. Impact has stabilized here. Darshan looking.
Yep, just gets him into the wall, wants the harass down, combos him fully. Impact tries to turn it around, burns his ultimate, but Darshan back in the mini form. Just gonna trade some harass back and forth as Huhi goes ahead and gets his blue buff. Top laners don't really need their ultis now, I guess, so happy to burn them there in the trade. But again, still a wash, no first blood just yet. Just a lot of farming in the early stages, but some good moves by both. Attacks have looked good, defenses have looked good also.
Words are hard sometimes, patiently.
Oh, yeah.
I'm right there with you. But the only big advantage really so far has been mid lane. And it's kind of equalized by the fact that Darshan is up some onto Impact, and Xmithie's up a little bit of farm. Actually, a fair bit of farm now at this point over Meteos. But who will get the first kill? That is going to be big, and Xmithie coming over. Meteos has really not been able to get anything done in the counter jungle. It seems like every time he comes around, Xmithie's there, takes the camp, takes the ward. It's got to be frustrating for Meteos.
Yeah, timing's been a little off as Darshan. Good damage there versus Impact again. Almost gets the last proc back in with Hyper, but now transforms away into Mega Gnar. Meteos is here, though. Manages to slow him down. Is that a piece of stairs?
I have no idea. This is the wrestler skin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like it.
Yeah, I think it's actually supposed to be stairs leading up to the ring.
It's like a chunk of stage.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn. That would hurt.
That would hurt. But so would that hurt more than the house? A house has stairs in it, pastry. It's like the whole package. You got more. You got windows. Maybe you got a tub in there. Who knows? Dishwasher even. Those things are heavy.
Attacked by white goods. Bad way to go.
Yeah.
Is Xmithie looking for a wraparound dive onto Impact. Doesn't land it, though. Impact does have his flash back and available, so pretty safe here. But nice to see both junglers staying active and pressuring these lanes out. But again, apart from maybe Jensen's 1v1 lead here in the mid lane, probably the biggest thing. Again,
a lot of damage. He may go for it. He has flash
just
ulti.
get the tag, goes again. Exhaust is there. It's not enough. And there's Jensen with a solo kill.
And Huhi he never flashed. He never flashed the whole time. And Jensen doesn't even have to pop the ulti there. Just skates in, gets the solo kill, and this is going to be an insane advantage. Darshan now in some trouble, wants to delay.
He's
coming.
Though, scoops him out of the way, slows him down. Maybe
almost
he can buy a bit more time. Back in a mini now, he's going to get the speed. Needs to hop around, but Meteos just takes him out with the ulti.
He says, screw this. Splats the mini Gnar.
And a good kill there. Darshan looks like he's going for that same build, but Meteos finally getting the gank off in the bottom side. And Impact will actually pick up an assist there for a bit of a lead in his lane. Jensen, though, this is just poor timing from Huhi.
So much damage, and Huhi just never flashes. He doesn't have the soldiers up to slide away. And I think he was kind of waiting for Jensen. I think he felt Jensen had to flash ulti to kill him. So he was going to wait and flash reactively. That's the plan as I see it in Hui's head, but neither one of them uses it. And kind of a funny-looking solo kill. Yeah,
I mean, Jensen even has Ghost as well and didn't use that either. So he's just like, yeah, you're dead, Huhi clearly didn't realize. Nice little play there from Jensen. Seems like Cassiopeia has been the undoing of these mid laners recently.
Certainly has.
And a huge lead for Jensen opened up now with the Abyssal completed. Hui's going to start struggling even more in that 1v1. Maybe see the junglers pull their attention back towards that lane.
And you can put your attention there, but it's a summoner disadvantage. C9's going top.
Smoothie does have the ulti, but isn't pulling the trigger just yet. Stixxay trying to kite it out. Binding misses, though. Teleporting from CLG. Maybe going to turn it around. Stixxay back in and aggressive. There's the tempered fate. He's going to stop the telly. No, it doesn't. And now Jensen back in for a 1v2. Takes out Smoothie. Now going to go for Huhi as well. And Huhi just flashes.
Back to the top lane. Meteos low.
Yeah, getting low. Bullets there. Stixxay needs one more, but he doesn't get it off. He's going to stay alive for a little longer. And Sneaky going to turn it around. Stixxay forced to flash out of the way. And Cloud9 wins everywhere.
Winning on both sides, and it's Jensen. Oh! See, if that was a house. Maybe would have had that extra damage.
Maybe.
But all things aside, I mean, Jensen saving the summoners. I want to see that again, because we didn't see how it started, but 1v2, oh baby.
And that's the Cassio classic. As soon as the jungler comes, you're like, I can do this.
Yeah, so here it is. They go in onto Jensen, flash out of the cocoon, beautiful stuff, and he knows Xmithie is in trouble, saves the ulti, times it perfectly, and Huhi has to get out as well, or he would have been going down, and that would have been bad to worse. But it's a 40 CS lead, 2-0 on the Cassiopeia, and that is getting out of hand.
Yeah, and maybe best of 3 is the true buff for Jensen, because that one warm-up game, and he seems to be back in business. From the mid lane, Cloud9 find themselves almost 2,000 gold ahead at 13 minutes in. And the rest of the map's trading relatively even. It's just Jensen's lead that is starting to convert.
Yeah. And the CS lead was even in the jungle because Meteos has that kill. So everything looking good for Cloud9. A little bit of a role reversal from last time. We'll see if they can extend the lead as efficiently as CLG was able to, because they really put on a masterclass of just pushing your lanes, extending the lead, taking turrets, and playing it very safely at the same time.
Well, unfortunately, poor little Infernal Drake is being very lonely as we've had this extended 2v2 stick around for a while. Meteos actually into the top lane. Xmithie was looking for the top side. Could be starting a delayed 3v3 in just a few moments.
Certainly could. Azir going to take up this blue buff, and Meteos has snuck into the bush. Could be some fireworks up here. We'll see if Xmithie's able to get there in time. He's moving, but I'm not sure he'll be fast enough. There is the ulti available for Meteos.
Yeah, mid laners aren't joining, so
Meteos actually might get the even better go for it when it's just going to be a counter gank, because I think they're going to go for this fight onto him, and they have no idea that Meteos is waiting here, so he's going to have the element of surprise.
Yep, but oh, they get Aphromoo with the binding, damages down, and Aphromoo just can't get out. He's going to go down to Sneaky as he'll get a kill for himself. The rest of CLG, can they get away? Tempered Fate, he's going to force the flash.
Great job by C9, so patient from Meteos, knows that's the lane that Xmithie's going to want to affect. The jungle pathing suggested it. He is there in time. Doesn't even have to blow the ulti. And here comes Impact.
Impact with a gank. Great pillar onto Huhi. That's going to force him to move out of the way. Slows there. Ulti's going to get baited out. Impact will tower dive in. And Jensen going to go for it again. Gets another kill.
3-0 on the catch. Shoves in the lane. Impact making his roam count. Really well done. They know there's no flash on Huhi, and they can just pick on him.
No one suspects the Trundle gank, but highly effective there from Impact as they're looking for another pick here. Cloud9 getting awfully cute, trying to take out that top outer turret. Xmithie doesn't really know where to go. Goes mid lane, Happy Feet's back to top, but he has to do something. Jensen's coming as well. Cloud9 going to brute force this turret.
They're looking at it, and Meteos, remember, he never uses ult. His flash is back up. He has all his playmaking tools. It's a frightening situation to be in as all these summonerless CLG players, because they know Meteos is going to have his stuff up. They're timing it. They have to play so safe and really respect that, or it's going to be even more kills for C9.
CLG do the right thing and back away. Aphromoo going to check the brush, finds two there as Sneaky and Smoothie. We're trying to set another trap. Meteos is still in the top half of the map here, but just busy taking Krugs, and he finally goes back to jungling. He's got a whole right side to clear out, going to hit the recall button and shop up here. And CLG are like, you know what? That Infernal deck has been sitting there for a while. I think we'll start it. Might be able to get this one out from under Cloud9.
Would be a nice edge for them. It's kind of their first victory in this game, and it's a little one, but it does definitely help to really extend their advantages towards late game. If they can really start to scale up, having the extra AD/AP always going to be very helpful. C9 has had the ability where they could have probably taken it because they have these edges, but they wanted to extend them in other ways, get the kills, prioritize the gold, and really kind of not care about that AD/AP just yet.
Yeah, they've got that first tower as well, so look to swap things up and maybe shove down a few more turrets for some extra gold. C9 have actually an almost identical gold lead CLG did in the last game, 3,500 gold up. As Darshan and Impact still battling 1v1. Darshan with the Frozen Mallet now completed, so things getting a lot easier here versus Impact, but Impact's not doing too bad. Titanic's almost on the way. And again, he's been able to keep up in CS in the matchup despite the early harass and pressure down towards his lane.
Trundle's a great farmer under turret. You can easily prep it with the Tiamat. The Q Chomp, a very powerful last hitting early, so has a lot of ways to actually last hit very effectively under turret. Even just your W for the extra attack speed, you can get 2 hits in before the turret takes it out. And he's going to go aggressive onto Darshan. Darshan close to Mega.
Oh, cuts it out, hops back in, now going to go in for it, but Impact getting a lot of help back. Darshan!
Oh, what a flash from Impact. Very quick reactive flash there. Would have been his death.
Oh, face check though from Meteos. Actually going to go back in. Now Xmithie's the one called out of position. Going to get bopped back in, repels. C9 getting away. Doesn't want it at all. Sneaky gets the kill.
He thought he had Meteos, but Meteos had him. The team was there, and they do flood in, taking out CLG's jungler again. He's 0-2. Things are looking rough for CLG.
Trying not to make too much noise in the bush.
The whole team is
Does
there.
get himself out of the way. Cloud9 though going to get what they really want here, which is the objective. Then they'll take the bottom outer turret and start extending that lead a little further. Stixxay is going to make a trade, but Cloud9 up in the play already. Should be able to take some initiative and knock down another turret. Stixxay continuing his journey though.
It really is the full role reversal. We got the split pushing Lucian, we got the solo kill Cassiopeia. Pretty crazy turn of events here for CLG. Not what they were hoping for in this game two after such a dominating game one.
And Cloud9 looking like they are actually converting a lot of their edges and pressure into real objectives as well. They didn't get that first Drake, but they're up 3-1 in turrets, looking to maybe break open mid as the next turret, which should be a pretty easy objective. As we watch Darshan's great play here 1v1, but Impact, this flash was so sick.
Yeah, it was so good. And he must be expecting because he knows he's about to mega out. He's still going aggressive, but so fast. Really hard to react to that kind of a play. And then at the same time, Xmithie's going in. He gets a nice trade onto Meteos, but he kind of realizes, hey, I got no way out of here. The bot lane is here, Jensen is here, and there's no chance of escape.
Well, good little play there from Cloud9. Get themselves some turrets off that as well. Xmithie turning blue buff over to Huhi, so Azir is going to take that. Nash's Tooth now ready for Azir, so starting to get through the early damage items, but pretty woefully behind Jensen still, especially in CS.
60 down, 3 kills added onto that as well. 2,400 gold up is Jensen. That's a big lead.
Almost the item he has.
Yeah.
And in fact, he's got extra gold to spend, so Jensen 2 levels up as well. Just really bullying this as here constantly. Is CLG going to try and get something here? Looking for the Rift Herald in that top lane. Huhi though bound up. Jensen exhausted. Just going to kill him through it though. Now on a rampage, as Smoothie gets moved back into the team. CLG actually doing a good job trying to counter around, and there's a shutdown in onto Jensen. Can they get more? Darshan ball back in by Meteos. He just clips him on the end of it, and it's a 2-for-2 trade as the dust settles.
Could have been even worse for CLG as Jensen actually failed his flash into the wall there. He would have been safe. So a nice trade back. Huhi barely able to get that Azir ulti off at the end as he's dying, and that does get them 2 kills.
Well, looking good there for CLG as they finally get some gold back, but can they make anything else happen off the play? He's going to try and shove mid. Perhaps Stixxay going to move the wave down, but doesn't fancy himself going any further than that. Bottom lane pushing down towards CLG as well, as we'll watch this one again.
Here it is once more. Nails the ulti. Such a good CC chain here as in comes Smoothie. They deny with the miasma, followed up by that Jensen ultimate, but they both get knocked in. Here, watch the Jensen flash. Right into the wall. He was a little bit too far out. You need to be hugging that wall to get over it. It's one of the harder ones to do, but a beautiful ultimate from Meteos ensures the kill on Darshan, keeps it an even trade.
Tight little fadeaway there. As Huhi tries to defend his turret. C9, yep. We'll be looking for that probably as their next major objective. As Jensen still nice and strong. Finally, a blemish in the record as he does pick up a death there, but he's not going to slow down as far as trying to bully Huhi goes.
Not at all. Infernal is going to be the next dragon. As you said, C9 probably not going to want to give up a 2-0. It's it's fine to give 1 rather, but giving that second one 16% ADAP starts to really mean a lot.
Well, they're in position for it. 55 seconds till it's back up and going. They're going to try and get the waves pushing first, though. Sneaky going to make his way down to the bottom lane and get things sorted out down there. Darshan also returning. Actually goes for some tank items now, so can't fully commit to the Black Cleaver. Needs to kind of knows that, all right, I'm likely going to be team fighting relatively soon. And Stixxay still split pushing, but now going to back away and converge onto the objective in the bottom half of the river.
I think it's smart from Darshan. When you're really ahead, it's fine to go those double damage items and look for your advantages in the split push, but he's not, just destroying impact this game. He has to go into team fights, and with a fed Cassiopeia, you need to respect that, build some early MR, or you're going to have no chance of surviving.
Looks like blue buff's up, so Cloud9 going to take it right before Infernal Drake is due to spawn, so good timing there on the overall objective play. See if CLG look for a fight here, or if Cloud9 are able to just force them off it. Xmithie, of course, can entertain a steal, but Cloud9 should have priority on this objective as they move straight towards it. And CLG might just say, you know what, we have 1, you can take this one.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to want to contest. A lost fight around Dragon now could be a bit of a disaster for CLG as they're already very behind. And Baron at this stage of the game is realistic when you have Cassiopeia. So they have to be aware of that. They're not going to make their move just yet.
Well, certainly priming to be a pretty explosive end to this game. C9 still up in goal, but haven't been able to really increase their lead for a little while longer. CLG have done a good job defending and sort of keeping the gold static. Next Drake will be Mountain, though, so some big late game Drakes in this game. When fights start going wrong, they're probably going to go very wrong.
Pretty far up here. The bot lane's by. Okay, they are going to back off.
Yeah, Meteos just body slams his way to safety. Darshan still playing up here, trying to chip away at that turret here. Kiting impact as best he can, but doesn't have too much wall coverage, so if they don't see members of Cloud9, he probably can't play this aggressive. And Impact also in the 1v1 with that Frozen Heart finished. Doesn't seem like he cares too much about what's happening.
No, not taking too much damage. And the Frozen Heart's actually really nice, even against the AP mid laner, because Huhi is very auto-attack based. Looking for a pick, though, on Smoothie.
Protect their pin court. CLG trying to defend their vision around Baron. Most importantly, though, these mid lane turrets are up, and they've been up for a little while. Both teams trying to find a pick under the wave clear, see if they can't knock themselves down a key structure. And Impact's just casually going to take away this red buff. Doing some counter jungling of his own. Xmithie looks to chase him, but he's like, oh, that buff's gone. That's all good.
And the red buff in the 1v1 is going to be pretty big, so Darshan wants nothing to do with it. He's just going to run straight away. Uses the ulti even for disengage, and that could be something. could come back to bite him a little bit if any fights break out next minute or so.
We've talked about Jensen's lead in the mid lane, but Impact actually also opened up a big lead there in top lane. Trundle almost always wins inevitable split push battles, unless something like Fiora is on the table, but Impact right now certainly has the lead in the 1v1, and that's additional pressure that Cloud9 can look to. We've said that they've maybe needed a way to extend their lead a little further. Maybe Impact's how they play through it now, 25 minutes in.
Yeah, I want to see C9 look to try to get some of these turrets down. They really should be trying to extend through that advantage. That's something that CLG did so well last game, taking all the outers very quickly, and CLG has been holding on to that to really stop this gold lead from expanding and expanding. They've been doing a good job of it, and they do have very good scaling themselves, obviously, with the Azir and with that.
Impact again taking matters into his own hands. Base tanks the turret for a couple shots, but still not dead just yet. C9 can just force here. They've got Gragas, they've got plenty of tools to get Azir out from under his turret and dead. And once he's gone, it's pretty easy to take the turret down, but Wave Clear a little too strong with the rest of CLG behind him, and Huhi protects his turret once again.
Yeah, I want to see them kind of just rotate. You need to go back and forth between top lane and mid lane. Look to try to pressure both turrets, push up the waves. Azir clears one, you move quickly towards the other, especially with Bard. You can make that rotation a lot faster. So they want to utilize that. Yes, Azir can clear one wave, you can't clear both.
Jensen also going to take some damage here. Big damage, actually, from the culling of Stixxay. With 2.5 items, actually does a pretty substantial amount to Jensen. That might even force him off the turret. CLG, despite being behind, actually looking to make a very proactive play and finally bust open mid.
Yeah, Meteos dropping the ulti. They want to clear the wave. Jensen did go over to the Wolves to lifesteal up, and they're looking. They got Huhi.
Impact's here as well. They're going to try and find him. Huhi, though, locked up in the miasma, and Jensen able to take him down. Now Sneaky going to pop the ulti and rush forward. Stixxay, the next target, but Xmithie forced to flash out as well. Cloud9 answer back, and they'll take mid as well.
And with Smoothie really low, he has to base. They could make a move towards Baron. Are they going to make the call? I think they will.
They've got the damage. They're certainly going to look for it. CLG.
Smoothie feels like he can't base. He doesn't have time, so he has to stay around. He is exceptionally low. If C9 plays this right, there should be almost no way for Smoothie to get in.
This Baron is taking way too much damage. Aphromoo going to get zoned out of the way. Baron's already dead. C9 just obliterate that objective.
Went down so fast, and they can even make the rotation to top lane if they'd like. The wave is already there. Get it pushing with the Baron buff. Start pushing in multiple waves. There's a big one pushing against them in the bot lane. Darshan's looking to make that trade happen there, but C9 can pick up 2 quick turrets as Huhi's in base. Top lane already taking damage. So is the mid lane tier 2.
Look how quickly this lead opens up. Cloud9 with one big play. Now 10,000 gold ahead up on CLG, and it feels like a very similar story to game 1. This time, though, it's Cloud9 looking to just demolish CLG and force it to a third and final game.
CLG needs to delay, and one thing going for them is that scaling. They're going to have to be very careful, though. Huhi does not have a soldier ready, cannot dash out in time, gets tagged at the very end of it, and no chance for him to escape. I think they actually bound to the Azir wall. That's what it looked like, because he actually got stunned by the Bard ulti, the Bard Q. I didn't know it could do that.
Oh, yes. That is a thing.
Okay, cool. Today I learned.
Hey, that's what we're all about, learning. Xmithie is trying something here. Again, CLG just clearing out whatever they can. He'll take the Krugs with Cloud9. Still with plenty of pep.
And that was a gold lead.
Going to keep shoving things out. They've got a Mountain Drake in 40 seconds if they need it. But it's really just those inhibitor turrets left to try and break down. Cloud9, huge at this stage of the game. Going to just bust down the front door.
Jensen's nearly up 4,000 gold.
That's a lot.
4 completed items to the 2 end pieces from Huhi. And this Cassiopeia, if you can't kill her off at the start of the fight, you have no chance of winning. They're looking for Darshan.
Yep, Sneaky pops the ulti. Darshan
Flash is
gonna have
available.
to run. Tempered Fate, he's going to flash up. But Meteos
He got
smacks him on the very other end into the binding there, and Darshan just locked up forever.
No chance for Darshan to get away. Early flash, early leap. He played it right, but they committed so much to get him, and now they're going to look for mid lane.
And they can afford to because they're still so far ahead. Mid lane turret is going to melt under the offensive Cloud9. And Xmithie, it's not safe there. Does almost get a cocoon down, but this inhibitor is going to go down. Impact working on another one in bottom lane. Cloud9 still with a 5v4 for 20 more seconds. Jensen just playing up and aggressive. Almost gets himself killed. Stixxay wants it. Ulti does not connect, but Smoothie manages to save his teammate. And now CLG going to run for the hills.
And Stixxay actually played that so well. The little stutter step, turns around, avoids the stun, but it doesn't even matter. Jensen gets the damage and deletes CLG's AD carry. And this is looking like it could be the game.
They've even broken through the same way. It's deja vu, but CLG can't be too happy about it. Nexus turret starting to get broken. Jensen pops his Seraph Shield to stay alive for a little longer. Huhi going to go down on the back end of a boomerang from Sneaky. And Cloud9, they're going to do it again. They get butted in game 1, but Buddy right back in game 2. We're going to a final game.
Tit for tat, we're all tied up. It's 1-1, and it's going to be the game 3 decider. That settles it all.
And I think for me, I just never want to make Jensen angry. Got pretty much destroyed in game number 1. Made some silly plays and fell way too far behind. That game, left alone, isolated in the 1v1, takes Hui's champion away from him and destroys him with it.
Jensen was nearly flawless.
Yeah.
He played